Okay, hello everyone. So it's springtime and it's about that time of the year where you want to make something nice, light, with probably not so much meat, or maybe you do want to have some meat in it. So I'm going to make a risotto. I'm going to teach you how to do the basics of making a risotto. Usually you'll use a saute pan, but mine has Teflon on it, so I'll be using the pan that I actually found, and I'll be making it with some asparagus, and I might even put some ham in it. We'll see. Anyways, basically what I'm going to do is teach you the basics, and it's what a risotto is basically a loose rice. You have to have the specialty rice, which is a clean arrobio rice. Oh, I cleaned it. Sorry, I cleaned it. Yeah, an arrobio rice, and this one is cleaned, and I dried it out and I put it in a jar to preserve. And in the jar, I have a bay leaf because it kind of keeps the little bugs away. And if you're going to keep it for a long period of time, I would advise that you put it in the refrigerator. So I'm going to be making a risotto, and it should be good. So I want to use the rest of this rice before it gets bad. And also you could use a pasta as well. I'll show you. You gotta excuse the mess because I am packing up, and I haven't found a place yet, but we'll see what happens. So this looks like a rice, and you could use this as well, like a nice pasta, which would be really nice. Who knows, maybe I'll change my mind and use it. So basically what you want is you want your asparagus. I found this for $1.49 at a local store. And then I have some wine, Sauvignon Blanc. And then I have my Parmesan cheese. Don't throw it out if it's mold, because basically cheese, what cheese is mold. So here's the part that I'm going to be using. I have a little bit of butter and some, usually you use shallots, but because I don't have any shallots, I'm going to use some onions, and I'll probably put some ham in it. Let's see, I'm going to use some extra, I'm going to combine it with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. And then let me get my salt, my pepper, you have to excuse me, and that's my stock that I made. It's very delicious, and if you look at my videos, you'll find out how to make a stock. Okay, and I have my pepper, my salt, pepper, and good. Okay, so let me get some ham out. I think I want to put some ham in there in my risotto. Yeah, that should be, and usually meat is an umami, and yeah, and I like using ham. So take a little piece, it's frozen. I got it on sale, and it's frozen. I'm just going to take a nice little piece of my ham, but just for flavor, for the purpose of flavor. See, I'll leave this. I have all my stuff packed up. Unfortunately, it makes it really, really hard. So I'm going to turn this on, and make sure that it's hot. And I'm going to kind of shave off this pieces of ham that I have. So it's going to be a ham, and you could use any kind of meat, or you don't have to use meat. You could actually be a vegan. You could just use vegetable stock if you want. So it doesn't have to be, doesn't always have to be ham or meat or whatever. Okay, so I have plenty, I think I have plenty of ham. And then I'm going to go ahead and heat that up. Add just a little bit of butter. Okay. You really don't want to use your fingers, so I mean, I wash my hands all the time, but with COVID and stuff going on, maybe it's time to really think about it, especially if you're going to go into the culinary world. So, I'm going to add my onions to that. It's going to have plenty of onions. You don't need to add that many onions, but I am, because it's for me. But if it's for someone else, you better consider your intake of the onions, I suppose. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of my extra virgin olive oil. Okay. I hope you can see that. Bring you forward here. Let's go forward here. There you go. Okay. So I've been cooking since I was 12. So it'll be almost, this year it'll be 40 years that I've been cooking. I've always loved cooking. I mean, I love doing the arts and all that. That's all fun. And I love being a little adventurous. So, make sure you have your bowl ready. So this is my bowl that I'm going to be using. So, I like being a little adventurous. So, I couldn't figure out what the heck I was going to do. I got a call from someone and he wanted to promote me as a brand, but then I had to pay for it. Like, really? If someone wants to promote you as a brand, they shouldn't be asking you for any money. They should actually be wanting to promote you and say, hey, you know what? I want to do something for you. Would you let me and my company publicize you, take a percentage, and but you don't have to worry about coming out of your own pocket. We'll provide you the kitchen, we'll provide you all the supplies. That's how it works. Not pay me. No. Shouldn't be that way. Unless you're going to a training school and you have to pay for it. That's different. So, if somebody wants to promote you as a brand, then they should offer you something decent. Enough to pay your bills. I have bills to pay too. I don't have to pay anybody else. I don't want to pay anybody else. So, that's the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so, they're starting to get a little bit over caramelized. I'm going to lower this. I'm going to lower that heat. Okay? I'm going to put you back over here so I can finish cooking what I'm cooking. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my rice. And usually that takes good, I don't know. It should take about 15-20 minutes. Hopefully this camera doesn't cut off. I'm going to go ahead and raise it back up. I actually should put the rice in first. Put the rice in first and then put the onions in. Oh well. Make sure your stock is hot. That's important. Some more rice. Who knows? Somebody may come over and want to share. I may want to share. Bit more. Oh, you want enough oil to cover the rice, okay? Or the noodles, if you're going to use the noodles, so. Okay. You cook this and you cook this. That's all nice and cooked. you want to heat up those rice granules nice and hot without burning them. You see how I got my onions a little bit scorched? It's scorched because I made a mistake and I put the onions in there first, which I shouldn't have. But I've been packing and I'm exhausted, and alright, this is exhausting. Packing as that is. Packing up my whole life in one box. And hopefully, who knows, what will be the next chapter of my life, or the end of the life, or whatever. There you go. That's a nice result. I should use the whole jar. I might just go ahead and use the whole jar, which is okay. Might as well. I have a friend coming over and she can help me eat this. Oh, it smells so good. And you know what? Just to give it a little extra added flavor, I'm going to add some grapeseed oil to that. Okay. Just a little. Which kind of... And grapeseed oil, it helps. It's very tolerant of high heat. Okay. This might be a two-part. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to add the rest of these onions. Why not? Okay, add the rest of the onions. Yeah, it's a little scorched. I can see the little grains. And that's what happens if you don't add the rice first. So that the onions will begin to become scorched. And I'm going to lower that a little bit. And I should have added all the rice together. Because if you don't add the rice together, you'll have some cooked rice and then some bad rice. Some uncooked rice. So you have cooked rice and uncooked rice, which wouldn't be good. Okay. Oops. Good Lord. Okay, now I'm going to add my ham. And this is a nice ham. It's frozen, but that's okay. At the time I add the ham in there, it'll thaw out. I want enough ham to flavor it. You know, have a nice flavor. And I love cooking, and sometimes I give my food to the community of people that are around me. You know, they might do a little extra favor for me, like, you know, you just want to be nice. It's okay to be nice. Some people don't like that, but, oh well. I mean, what is life without being kind, right? So, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add my asparagus last. See, my asparagus here. I'm going to add that last. And, oh, by the way, let me show you something real quick. Don't want this to scorch, so that's why I'm kind of... By the way, this right here, you put it in a jar with a little bit of water on the bottom. See that? And you put it on the refrigerator. Now remember that cold falls, so make sure that your refrigerator is at an accurate temperature so that you don't burn your frostbite. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding and because I have ham, I won't need to add any sea salt or any salt. So I'm going to add a little bit of pepper in there. Yeah, gotta have pepper in your risotto. So basically rice is 2 to 1. I continue to add the risotto until it's nice and tender. I try to get those little black things out. The scorched. So these they turn dark. So anyways, got a lot of flavor, but they're really pungent, and I don't think you want to have a lot on there. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my cheese. Grate your cheese in there. I'm going to add this little bit of cheese that I had. That's Parmesan. This is Parmesan Reggiano cheese. Now, if you want to be a cook, you gotta know your stuff. Just like if you want to be a trucker, you better learn everything about the engine and how it operates and all that. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more. This is my stock. I'll probably end up using all of this. I'm not going to add my asparagus yet because I want my asparagus to be a little bit crunchy, which is going to give it a nice texture. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of wine to that. That wine just does something to it. Okay. You want to make something for Father's Day or Mother's Day? Trust me, you'll like this. And you want to serve risotto right away. So remember, oil, heat up the pan, then you add